This is another one of my pictures that I have, a painting in my living room. I really love this painting. I love all paintings because every picture tells a story. But I really love this painting because it's about a dream that I had, and where the Lord spoke to me very clearly. And it was at a time when I was at a loss to know what to do. And the Lord gave me this dream where I was out in the outblocks of Australia and in a dry creek bed. And there was this Aboriginal man sitting with a long beard, but very agile and young features. But he had a long white beard, and he was sitting by a Holden car and around a fire, and I saw him and our eyes met, and he called out to me and said, "Hey you, whatever you do, God will back it." And I woke up and went back to sleep, and for the second time had exactly the same dream, but this time I'm hiding behind some bushes because I was very curious about who this man was. Again, an Aboriginal man in the same dry riverbed with an old Holden car sitting around a fire. And I'm hiding behind the bushes looking at him. And as if he knew I was there, he called out, "Hey you," again. And so it kind of flushed me out from behind the bush, and I came out, and he said, "Whatever you do, God will back it." And I started to run towards this man because I wanted to know who he was. And as I ran, I'm yelling out, "Who are you? Who are you?" And by the time I got to where he was, the whole thing was gone and the dream was over. And how often our dreams speak to us. God says he does speak to us one way or another. When a man is asleep or a woman is asleep, God speaks. And it was just at a very important time in my life where there was so many things that were pressing on me, and I actually didn't know what to do. And it was like God was giving me permission that whatever I chose to do, he was going to back it. So here's the thing. Sometimes we ferret around looking for God's plan and looking for what he's going to do, and looking for what we should be doing, and we're trying to make it just work, not realizing that the Lord gives us a large scope. I'm not saying we shouldn't obey what he says. I'm saying sometimes he leaves a choice to us. And this dream just impacted me. For the simple dream that it was, it left me really quite impacted. And I was overwhelmed for a while, and I thought, "Lord, I don't know what to do." In fact, I'd gone off to sleep that night saying that very thing, "Lord, I really don't know what to do." But the assurance came, "Whatever you do, I will back it." The next morning, I was talking with Sean Bolts, and I explained to him what had happened the night before, and I said, "It's left me feeling somewhat in awe, not because of the such a profound message. It was very simple, but the encounter seemed to be profound." And Sean Bolt said to me, "I think you've had an encounter with the angel over Australia." And I was like, "Really? Really?" And he said something which I've thought about a lot. He said, when the angel over a nation shows up, he comes as one of the first world people, the First Nation peoples. He comes as one of the authentic inhabitants of the land. And so we expect to see a gleaming angel with a sword and wings and whatever. But God takes on the authority, the authenticity, the real thing of the land. And as the Lord spoke to me through this Aboriginal man who may well have been bringing a message, that I found a freedom to go ahead and do what I felt to do without the restraint of what do other people think or what should other people say? But whatever you do, I will back it. He didn't say bless it. He said, I will back it. In other words, you'll have my authority and I'll stand with you. Amazing promise from God. Take notice of your dreams and don't despise the day of small things or the day of small dreams. Sometimes they're actually very profound.